right, well, we'll see if the audio works from this because the waves are a little bit louder than I anticipated. I've gone through so many ups and downs that I wish that I could look back on that I thought best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, second best time today, so why not start today? So I wanted to start off by defining what success is to me. For me, I see business and I see startups as an expression of who I am and what I do. I see it as a hobby or as a creative outlet that becomes a part of me. So many people want work-life balance, where for me, I prefer to chase things and I prefer doing things that become my life. In the same way that a professional athlete, their work becomes their life. They are a professional surfer, not that there's many waves today, but they become a professional surfer, they become a professional snowboarder, and that becomes their life. And so I think of my work the same way, where I get to have this canvas, and I got this from Brian Chesky from Airbnb. My business becomes this canvas of which I can then explore the things that are interesting to me, surround myself with the people that I want to be surrounded with, and ultimately build. And that's what I really enjoy doing. And so if I take out this mindset of I'm doing this for an exit, how would I build this business? And so for me, it just so happens that in putting down roots in this part of the world and showing up and being consistent, I was able to find those people that would back me. And I've continued to explore those themes and I've continued to explore the things that I'm interested in. That's what success means to me, is that I get to work on what I want to work on, where I want to work on it, with the people that I want to work on it. And so that brings me to the next thing, which is, why am I doing this? I have been self-employed since I was 18. I've had various businesses, I've had ups and downs, I've had learnings, and I haven't hit the big one yet. And so for me, I would love to document that, to be able to take what I've already learned to this point, but also combine it with the documentation of actually getting to that point, whether that is an exit, whether that is cash flow, whether that is whatever an exit may be, a merger, an acquisition, growing it and taking it public, who knows? Anything can really happen. I also wanted to learn by teaching. So for me, audiobooks are a big part of my life. I really like podcasts. I absorb a lot of information that for me is obviously secondhand information, and then for you guys to hear it as third-hand information. So what I want to do is I want to explore the themes of these books and these podcasts, or maybe it's even a tweet, and I want to put them into my life actionably and then report them back to you as that first-hand information. So show the authority of, I'm reading The Creative Act by Rick Rubin, show the authority of Rick Rubin's thoughts, but then implement them into my life and then report back to you, rather than just reading over it and then forgetting about it, or hoping that it's being woven into my psyche at some point that then will come out spontaneously. Actually embed that into my life. I think that that's quite important. And ultimately, the last point of why I want to do this is that I've made a lot of friends through YouTube, through guys that have a couple hundred, a couple thousand subscribers when they popped up on my YouTube feed, and now we chat, and they're from all around the world, and I've been fortunate enough to meet a few of them in person. And ultimately, I think if we can create more energy around this idea that, especially in the age of AI, you can have your cake and eat it too, to an extent, where you can work remotely, and what matters more is the direction that you're running, not necessarily the speed. Don't get me wrong, speed is still important, but I've spent a lot of my life climbing the wrong mountains and running in the wrong direction, that I'm now working on the experiment of, well, if I give myself the space to actually think through things and action them in the time that it takes them to unfold, while working hard and while putting in the hours, how does that then potentially lead to success? And I'm hoping to document that and prove or disprove it. And you guys will see that. So a little hint into this new venture that I'm creating, that I'm currently putting together the foundation for. The hint is that we are taking a traditional industry and we're trying to apply AI, automation, and all that jazz into the business to see if we can create not only a change in the industry, but almost a new product in and of itself. And this kind of got me thinking, there's a lot of people that are so focused on AI taking their jobs, especially in sales. I spend a little bit of time with salespeople, and I think that people are missing the point. As far as AI taking your job, I think let's take sales as an example. I think stuff like accounting, sure. I think that it can be perfected, and ultimately that's going to help businesses do their job better. And so those jobs might go away. Those jobs will definitely go away. But if you think about it as the agricultural revolution, this is the example that I see thrown around in the circles that I frequent, is 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 90% of people, 95% of people were working on farms. And then tractor came around, electricity came around, sophisticated fertilizers and all that stuff. And people went into the cities and they didn't need to work on farms anymore. And the output of those farms got that much better because of that. So now it can be managed by much less people. And ultimately, I think that it's quite healthy to look at AI the same way, in which the jobs might change, but they're not necessarily going to take your job. And ultimately, it depends. I see it as it's a freeing thing, especially if you're an entrepreneur. And if you're watching this, you're likely an entrepreneur or wanting to be an entrepreneur. I think that you can think of AI as the thing that's going to help you add value to people. There's an Alex Hormozi example that I always come back to, which is you think that you're selling personal training. And then you think about it as your competitor is other personal trainers, your competitors are other gyms. In reality, what you're doing is you're selling weight loss or you're selling confidence. You're selling the result. And so if that person could swipe their credit card and instantly lose 20 kgs or whatever it may be, or they can swipe their credit card and they can put on a bunch of muscle, they would pay a lot more for it. That's why surgery costs a lot more, because it's a lot quicker and it's basically guaranteed. And so if we look at the economy working the same way, I believe that AI enables that across the industry. It, in certain cases, if we replace the card machine with a prompt or with an AI that hooks into certain systems, it allows that magic of press enter and something happens, or you don't even have to press enter and something happens. And so if you're feeling a little bit angsty about AI, I think that it's fair enough. I think in general, I'm in AI and I've been in AI for years. I'm even a bit angsty about it. But I think ultimately looking at it as an opportunity to shape the world and to free people to actually create value in ways that computers could never. I was chatting to a salesperson the other day and I was telling them that I just came back from Japan. And they said, oh my God, I love Japan. I went there with my girlfriend and we got into a good chat. AI can't do that. We sat down for a coffee 2 days later and AI can't do that. Transactional things where people don't really need to feel a sense of empathy or need to feel a sense of connection with that person, sure, I think AI might take that. But for those things that people want more human connection, which I think if you look at the trends, it's getting more and more likely, and it's getting more and more that people are feeling lonely and they're looking for human connection, I think that that's not going anywhere, at least not anytime soon. And that feels like a great place to wrap things up. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end, and a special thank you to all of those friends that have encouraged me to actually create this YouTube channel. I've wanted to do this for a while and I'm really excited to see how it's all going to unfold. So with that being said, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like, and let me know in the comments what you'd like to see moving forward and what you think I could improve. But for now, see you in the next one.